I don't know shit about this matchup. I might explode. Who attacked me? Oh, that's right.
Please select your character. Valkenheim or Helsing.
Yeah, I'm honestly more of a Shoto player, so like, I play, okay, I guess it's Jin. I play a lot more Celica. Like, how to explain this? If you look at the way I play Valk, you'll notice that I play a lot more defensively than a lot of other Valk players, and I'm convinced at the moment that that's still the best way to be playing this character.
The wheel of fate is turning. Rebel 1.
But like, I have a more naturally defensive playstyle, and it's kind of evolved into me playing like different types of characters. Just take this knockdown. That was very jank. Okay. Should kill an active flow, right? Yeah. Yeah, sorry. I thought it was going to be versus New, but I guess they're playing Jin, which is understandable. I'm not super knowledgeable on the matchup, but New kind of sucks versus Valk. I have them in a very specific kind of defensive mentality right now. So I can rotate in DP checks without too much concern. It's cool. I'm surprised they were still in block center. Maybe I was just out of range. That might have been in time to go for a wolf throw, actually. That was not the movement I wanted. Ah, I gotta stop doing that. Dude, I'm so messy right now. Oh, does that not work on Jin? I swear I've never had that problem against him before. I thought the Iceman was tall. I was just doing that no problem against Lychee. What the fuck is going on? More, yes. I play a lot more with punish oriented than a lot of other Valkenheim players. My style is modeled mostly after the Japanese player Uma no Hon. Some influence from Jonah, but I would say Jonah falls in a more aggressive end of the Valk spectrum than I do. The thing is, though, is that, like, while I think I'm more developed in some areas than Jonah is a much, much, much stronger BB player than I am.
The wheel of fate is turning.
There's a lot of things he does in this game a lot better than me, and I think also he has his tempo is a lot better for certain matchups. Like against Lychee, like I think he's probably a little better at that matchup than I am. Yeah, I know Uma's Twitter, but it's something really weird. It's like TY and then a bunch of numbers, and all he does is tweet about Gacha. I don't think he even tweets about BlazBlue. I think he's the best Valkenheim in the world by a fucking mile. After him, probably like Kiba and Jonah and Suya. And then after that, like Maybe me. I don't know. I know Yasu used to be a pretty good Valkenheim, but he doesn't play anymore. I actually haven't seen him since like very early CF1. And Riku Toei also played some Valkenheim, but I think he ended up on Izanami. Whoops, I should have IP'd that last hit.
I actually didn't even know you could go backwards.
Please select your character.
But yeah, I think actually my style makes me better and more comfortable in some matchups. Like I think a good one is S, because I know Jonah and Uma despise that matchup, but I actually really like playing it. I also really like playing Izanami, and I think my game plan kind of naturally leads itself to those matchups a little more than playing more aggressive. But you could also argue my playstyle is a result of a player weakness where I'm just not very good at like going in at people, if that makes sense. I like playing very slow paced. Like just doing this thing right now where I'm running in and pressing the 5A. I don't do that a whole lot. Gotta be honest with you. Like learning to be more aggressive and making people play around the threat that I want is something I'm still learning to how to do. And while I've definitely gotten better about it recently, I'm still not great at it. I'm a little too scared of being wrong still at times. But I had a conversation with Base and Fame while I was in New York that felt very enlightening, and I don't remember what it was, but Base made some comment and she was like, it sounds like you're getting good enough to not have to like play by the rules of fighting games. And, you know, went into this whole conversation about like how I perceive them in mashing, and it was very enlightening. I felt like I learned more from that conversation than I have about fighting games in a very, very long time. And it's sort of, you know, with BB Rollback being here, it sort of rejuvenated my desire to get better. Not necessarily my desire to compete. I'm pretty sure I am going to compete at majors and stuff, but like, I don't know, just it kind of like changed something about how I think about fighting games that made all the stuff that felt bad about them feel more digestible, if that makes sense. Good too. You can already kind of see it, like the way I play against Uri now, like before, you know, I took my break, like that's nothing. It's nothing at all like how I used to play against them. You see me doing a lot more like risky things, and you can argue like, well, my play's getting worse, but no, it's just that like I understand the value of showing these threats now that I don't think I necessarily did before. So that's why I'm in the middle of a big playstyle shift. Playing Melty was very enlightening. Playing KOF, actually, like old KOFs and KOF 15 beta were also very enlightening, I felt, because those are games which force you to be a little more bold about your decisions. And I'm like still working on it, you know. Sorry, someone's me. Sorry, I'm just typing some advice to this dude. He asked me for it. Yeah, my keyboard's really loud, sorry.
Please select your character.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. What have you been?
Kisaragi.
What have you guys been working on in the world of fighting games? Whether that's just like one-player concepts or two-player, like I'm curious, because I'm enjoying this discussion a lot. I want to know what kind of things you're cooking up or pondering about. Because I think about this genre non-stop. The shit.
The wheel of
I don't know.
fate is turning. Rebel.
Falconite is a fat red bitch that runs my life at the moment. I know BB rollback has been a bit of a like rejuvenation for people. It has been for me. This has been extremely healing for me. I think I've learned a lot about myself the past few weeks. Being more aggressive, actually, yeah, me too. And trying to accept my bad days more because of my age, and I've gotten way better since I've gotten way better at controlling talent. Yeah, that's really important. Like,
Rebel.
no one can be on 100% of the time. And it's not that the players who are really strong don't have off days, they definitely do. It's more that their off days are much more clean because they, you know, put effort into playing through them. In poker, there's a concept called like the A game, the B game, and the C game, right? And, you know, the A game is when you're on fire, and the C game is when you're not really feeling it. And one of the ways you can be consistent is by having such a good C game. So even on your weaker days, you're competitive, and that's something I want to work on as well. Is playing more even when I'm like a little bit tired or maybe like a little unsure or nervous about playing because I'm worried that my mental state will not let me play well. Is kind of embracing that as a chance to improve my C game. No, dude. It's so greedy. I don't know why I go for this air throws. So obviously, a degree of fighting game consistency comes with strategy, but there's a very mental aspect of it too. No one's on fire 100% of the time. Even players who I think are amazingly consistent, that I admire a lot, players like Uma no Hon or the Kill Sage or Fame or Base, those players still have off days. Learning to properly respect defensive options, too many games let my opponents out of disadvantage due to fear of being wrong in the RPS despite prior conditioning habits. Yeah, that's a tough one for me too. I think one thing that helps is recognizing that even when you lose these RPS interactions, you are gaining more information about your opponent, and when you're proficient in a game, you are able to make more with the information from the interactions you lose. That always helps me.
The wheel of fate is turning. Rebel 1.
Yeah, rollback is a blessing, because, like, now I can tell when something is wrong with my game plan, instead of having to figure out and just, like, theorize on whether or not it's delay. It has been so healing to me as a fighting game player. Yeah, I don't really know how to have a good C game either, like... It's sort of like a hard concept to define, right? I think really when you're playing your C game, you're kind of playing your like weakest autopilot, so it might be a method of just accepting that your autopilot is what it is and trying to improve it. Because that's how I have to learn fighting games in general. Is I do a lot of my conscious thought outside of playing, and the way I get better is by trying to improve my autopilot. And so the method I had initially, which some of you may remember that famous Kotaku article that I was in, was that I used to take notes, because that was like a way of sending messages of how to play better to my autopilot self. That worked for me. Doesn't work for everyone. I also have ADHD, so that does, you know, affect how my brain works to some degree.
Please select your character. Valkenheim or Kisaragi.
Yeah, I wish you guys, the best in getting better. I mean, shit's hard, but like, fighting games are such a fulfilling avenue for self-improvement, and that I think that's the coolest part of them, personally.
The wheel of fate
Not
is
everyone feels that
turning.
way. This is just stress relief to some people, but
Action.
it's something more to me.
Counter.
Shit's hard, but you're harder, yeah. Ah, man. What? I had phases on PC where I just dropped that. I think I need to go into training mode and practice it a little more. Yeah, that's a vindicating feeling too. You know, my main friend group right now is like the TFH crew, right? And you know, a lot of them are newer to fighting games, and I've gotten so much out of teaching them, and like being able to like confidently teach them lessons that I had learned or am in the process of learning is very fulfilling. Especially when it comes to this game, because you know this game got rolled back and everyone was like, "Yo, you're gonna teach me, right?" And seeing how fast some of them have grown, like especially Roderick, my buddy who's a Hawkmoon player, I'm already very impressed by his progress. I said I'm gonna start just trying to get raw, wolf break jumping more consistent. Remind me when I'm done streaming in like 20 minutes to half an hour or so, and then I'll do a quick little tutorial for you, so I can show you how I do it with input display, because maybe that'll help you. Yeah, it's hard to give advice to new players. I don't really know how to best handle someone who's like starting from scratch.
Please select your character. Jin Kisaragi. Valkenheim or Helsing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little harder to do it raw, and the input can be stricter because sometimes you'll get accidental wolf cannon. I actually still get that input error sometimes, especially on PC. I don't think I've gotten it today, thankfully. But yeah, just like running up and do it like that, that's tricky. What's my take on Az versus Valk? I think it's about even. I think Valkenheim has an advantage in neutral. Like, I think Valkenheim has an advantage in neutral. Obviously, he gets out damaged. When you run out of Wolf Meter versus Azrael, it's very bad. That's the hard part, right? And I think even though DP is kind of garbage, I think Azrael can defensively RPS pretty decently. And I also feel that there are a lot of scenarios where, like, even though Azrael's toolkit at first glance wouldn't lead to it. I have to spend a lot more wolf meter to win neutral there. But obviously, like, Valk's offense is pretty good versus Azrael. And you can whip punish a lot of stuff in neutral. It can be expensive to do so, but you can. So, like, I think it leans to being about even, but more unstable even. I wouldn't, like, hard argue against a slight Valk favor. I know Jonah feels the same way, and he's proficient with both characters, obviously.
Rebel 2.
Yeah, I mean, I would, like, argue against slight Valk favor. But, if you put a gun to my head, I would probably pick even, you feel me? I'm assuming you think it's, like, Valk favor. I think that's, like, a pretty common opinion among Azrael players. Honestly, yeah, I'd put Valk favor. Yeah, like, slight or a lot. Only slight? Yeah, I could totally buy that take. Honestly, Jonah's probably the one you should ask because he is... I can attest his Azrael's very strong. He's very proficient with both characters. But I'm like pretty decent at the matchup, I would say. It's not my strongest one. That's more of like a player weakness to me, though. I'm not good at fighting the like big body type characters. Oh, whoa, this is a weird route. I shouldn't have 6'8 there. I think I want to look for 6'8 here. There we go. Thanks, I appreciate it. I don't know. I mean, I think most of Valk's matchups are 5-5-ish. Or a lot of matchups for Valkenhayn are like, it's pretty good, and then, like, if you make a mistake or there's like a game state where it's very, very bad. So they end up being very unstable in nature, which I think is just part of how Valkenhayn plays and like how he works this version, but I wouldn't call a lot of those disadvantaged. Like Hakumen and Kagura are examples of matchups where Valkenhayn like wins in a lot of cases, but like the cases where he has problems are very much a big part of what determines match outcome. So they feel very strange, but I do think they're even. And Azrael's maybe a little bit more on that spectrum. Cause see, here's the thing, right? Chaotic is, I feel like in a perfect world, Valk shouldn't lose. Cause like I should have the tools to play neutral well against Azrael 100% of the time, but then where do I put that value? Do I think about the fact that if I play perfect, I will like probably not lose neutral ever? Or do I... Or do I accept the fact that sometimes I'm going to make mistakes, and then the game state that happens to that mistake is not as good for me, which makes it tricky. It's hard to put a value in that kind of matchup. Like Arcune is an example of a matchup where that dynamic very much exists, because I think Valk shits on Arcune pretty consistently in most places. But obviously Curse is like a pain in the ass. But I would still put that Valk favor. Just because I feel like in that case... the neutral is so good for Valk that it ends up being like more in his favor. I don't know. It's a question I have a hard time figuring out the answer to, I guess. Oh, I didn't have 50 meter gun in it. Yeah, I mean, Valk doesn't really have a lot to defend himself with against Azrael. There's some gaps you can Stormwolf pretty well, and 6A is good at some callouts, but yeah. Like, Valk has the more stable game plan, but the margin for error is very small. The other character gets jailed as hard as by spiders like this? Wait, not even Tager? That's a good block. I think when people are blocking that, I should assume that they're doing it because they're fuzzy jumping. That was good. You forgot about Tager, yeah. No, dude. Yeah. I mean, I don't think Arakune is like helpless in the matchup against Valk. I just think that like, I don't know. I guess the way I view those situations adding up, I think Valkenhayn wins.
Select your character.
But the way I look at situations adding up against a character like Lychee or Naoto or Mu, then no, I don't think Valkenhayn wins. It's a hard call. Yeah, I've noticed that too. Like, I feel Valkenhayn's strengths in the matchups way more fighting other Arakunes.
The wheel of fate is turning. Rebel.
I'm so comfortable against Arakune, like actually, because of you. Actually, I think the matchup is really fun. Yeah, we do. I think we're pretty similar in playstyle, but like you're a lot more willing to RPS than I am, and I'm like a lot more reserved, which I think that bites us both in the ass at separate points.
Rebel 2. Action.
I'm trying to learn to be more aggressive. You die, but if you win, you curse, yeah. Arakune and Kagura are very much matchups where I'm always winning up until I'm not. The only not unwinnable, but like the only really hard matchup I think Valk has like that is Lychee. Even like Rachel is an example of a matchup which I would put not in Valk's favor, but I still think that like I still think Valk, like, I think it's okay for me as Valk because Rachel is like a character I can delete when they're cornered. Two in a row. Yeah, shoutouts to Nightbot. Are you mad at me for reversaling because I IB'd something and knew there was gonna be a gap?
Please select your character.
You can't be mad at me for that.
Valkenhayn are choosing Kisaragi.
Alright, I think I'll do like, let's do 3 to 4 more. Hi, Zach.
The wheel of fate is turning. Rebel 1. Action.
When I have more advice about how to play more confident, I will let you know because I am not a confident player. I'm a very patient, a very reserved player a lot of the time. I'm only just now like starting to learn to like be more aggressive and press my advantage to represent threats. It's always been a weakness of mine. I'm so uncomfortable taking this. Like Spooky can tell you this especially. Like I'm so uncomfortable taking risks, and then like when I do start taking risks in a match, they're like not very good ones, just because I'm like not used to that, so I don't have like a feel for it. If that makes sense. Something I really admire about a lot of Guilty Gear players, especially, is how much confidence they carry with themselves. Oh, this OD stuff feels so good. No, dude. I could double jump. Nice. That hurt. Ooh, that was very nice. I hope Mach isn't here to make fun of me for getting hit by 6A. Oh no. I don't know how I messed that up, but we're good. Nice 6A, thanks.
Valkenheim wins.
絶えず連磨するがよい若き武人よ
Alright, 4 more from here. Yeah, I'm in a good mood today, so I guess I'll just say y'all can do it. You can overcome your hurdles in fighting games. Like, it takes work, but it can be done.
Please select your character. Jin Kisaragi, Valkenheim R. Helsing.
Yeah, I'm going to Frosty's. I didn't enter BB. I entered Melty, which I'll play for fun. Obviously, I've been playing BB more. I'm going to Boston Blue Beat Extend as well. So I'll be there, and I'm not entering that either. I don't know, I just don't feel like competing.
Oh my god, like, just turn it off.
Or maybe, I don't know. I had to think. I don't really know how like much I want to compete, you know? Oh, I messed up. Show up to gatekeep Boston again? Nah. I can't gatekeep Boston if Spooky is there, unfortunately.
Rebel 2. Action.
I did gatekeep Boston last time I was there, though. That was pretty hype. Although I got lucky, Spooky and Fems were both not there. No, dude. That was really poor management on my part. That was good with punish. Honestly, I should have poked with 5B. That recovers faster. Three more.
勝ちですな
Valkenheim
I am going to the event either way.
The wheel of fate is turning. Rebel 1. Action.
Yeah, I mean, I have fun, like, entering netplay tournaments, just because, like, I can play from home, and, like, maybe I can stream my runs. I don't know, I can decide, I can find how competitive I want to be in this game in my own way. No. Might have been able to actually do an OD punish, but I wasn't sure.
Rebel 2. Action.
Yeah, the next tournament you'll probably see me compete at in terms of majors is probably Combo Breaker, unless I can like snipe a Frosty's spot for CF. Yeah, CB is sick. I'm gonna try to go just to see TFH people at a minimum, even if I decide I don't really want to compete. I feel like there's no reason not to compete, though. I don't know. See where my life is at. Alright, 2 more.
お茶の準備がありますので、私はこれで。
Yeah, traveling is a blow up.
Please select your character. Jin Kisaragi. Valkenhayn R. Helsing.
Tournaments I recommend, just in general, are Frosty Faustings, Combo Breaker, CEO Taku, Texas Showdown, the area one was really good.
The wheel
Super
of fate
TSB is
turning.
always fun.
Rebel 1. Action.
Wow, there's actually not that many anymore. Oh, I didn't mean to do that route. That was completely on accident.
Rebel 2.
NCR is a bad tournament. SCR is not very well run. I don't even know if it still exists. I don't know what exists anymore. Oh, there was a very good TRM. I don't know, I don't think I need to be buffering throw there. I feel like against this particular pressure rotation I can react to throw okay as long as I manage my stack well. That's nice. Okay. Well, I'm eating my own words. Alright, what do I want to do here? Well, let's get this on the stack. I don't think... That was good. I remember to go into the short route too, instead of leaving margin for error with my like complicated OD routes. Alright, one more, and then we will call it a night.
Please select your character.
Last one.
Jin Kisaragi.
I mean, in BB, I was always like, I don't know, like, depending on your spectrum. In NA, I was probably like kind of lower, high level, and in the grand scheme of things, I'm probably like mid-level, upper mid-level. You know, I have some good runs, I have some bad runs. I have some, like, some times where I got, like, upset in bracket and lost to someone who's probably not as strong as me. But there were also times where I beat players who were definitely stronger than me. I don't know, I never really had that kind of consistency, if that makes sense. Oh, that was a bad DP. Ooh, that was a good DP. I guess I was always notable just because like I played Valkenheim, which obviously is not a character people really play that much. I think that's why I have a bit of a following on YouTube and Twitch now, is because no one really plays this character. I mean, Jonah does. Jonah's very strong, stronger than me, but he doesn't really stream or anything. I think I should try to flash barrier and then overdrive through a throw. Oh, I messed up. This was worth a shot. Do not roll. Good job. I want to do tighter pressure against this defensive style. Okay, let's go. Let's get some Wolf Meter back. Safe jump Reno. Uh-oh. It's 1 and 3 safe. That's good. Red light, green light. I'm not gonna spend OD here, because I can still lose in this next mix-up. Okay, good. Alright, gang. That will do it for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I will catch up on my uploads and get some of these matches up tonight. And you can go back and watch them, and thank you guys for watching as always. I will see you next time.